Hi guys, welcome to Pop Hearts TV. You are watching the Bachelorette after show, and today we're talking about the final rose. Okay, let's just take a second to take a deep breath because I think all of America is feeling a lot of feelings after last night. Okay, we gotta go into this zen and feeling we can't be mean about this. We have to be level-headed.
I'll do my best.
Before we go any further, I'm Kylie Hodges. If you haven't already been watching for the past couple weeks, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us at Pop Hearts TV on all the social media channels. Be sure you're hitting subscribe. Follow us for more updates. We will be recapping Bachelor in Paradise as well. Woo. And who is my lovely co-host?
Hey guys, I'm Sarah London. Super excited to be here for our finale.
So good to have you with your Deanisms and your critiques. And this week, Dean's out of the picture, so there won't be as much Dean chat.
That's how I should start introducing myself. Sarah London, big Dean fan.
Dean expert. Resident Dean expert, Sarah London.
Resident Dean.
All right. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm a big Packer fan, and I feel like the Packers just lost the Super Bowl last night. That's how I'm feeling about this finale. I'm feeling very wounded and vulnerable.
Did you tweet that?
I sent it to you in a text message.
Okay.
It's not an original thought.
Okay. Someone tweeted it or said something, and I was like, oh, that's true. And very relative to our friend Peter, who's from Wisconsin.
He's presumably a Packer fan. Go Pack.
He is. He tweeted about it.
I love him even more. I don't even know where to start. I suppose we should start from the beginning, which was the episode started where there were three men still, Eric, Bryan, and Peter.
Yeah.
We saw Eric get let go, which was really sad, but I also wasn't super surprised.
No. I think we all wanted him to be in that final two, but we knew he wasn't going to be. It was just so clear the entire time. It was like Peter and Bryan.
It felt like a fling to Rachel.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, she got to have a little fun. Then she was like, okay, back to my serious girl life now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then this was also a live studio event, and we saw Eric come out looking fresh and bearded. Woo! Comment below if you're a fan of Eric with a beard, because we are.
I mean, seriously, he came out looking like that, and I was like,
Bachelor material.
Okay, let's get him as the Bachelor.
Yeah, I think we're not the only ones who feel that way as well.
Yeah.
Eric was looking good, and what did you say his first line was when he walked on stage?
He walks on and he goes, hey, how's your heart? And I melted.
Love it. Okay, so I would say the live studio audience from this week, or the Final Rose live studio, was way more exciting this time than a lot of other seasons past. And we actually have a call-in guest who was
super
there
excited
in the audience, and she's going to share with us her experience. We've got her on the phone right now. Her name is Ursulline. Hey, Ursulline, you're on Pop Hearts TV.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks so much for calling in and chatting with us.
Of course, I'm so excited to provide some commentary from our favorite show, The Bachelorette.
I know. I'm so jealous that you even got to attend the after the final rose. That's like bucket list goals.
It is. Who were you there with?
That is.
Who were you there with?
I brought my friend Brooke, who she actually has kept up on all the seasons leading up to JoJo, and then, life gets busy, so she hadn't actually gotten caught up past JoJo, and hadn't even seen Nick or Rachel's seasons, and she had to do like a quick recap.
Yeah.
And I even gave her a quick recap myself, but yeah, she came along and she was just like, I remember love again after we left. It was just so beautiful.
Wow. Now, okay, just a quick summary. How do you feel about Rachel's decision to pick Bryan?
I think Bryan is the perfect choice for Rachel.
What?
Sarah is shocked.
Yeah.
She looks very shocked
I'm
right
shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think that, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of reasons for why I mean this.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I have dated a Peter before. And it's really frustrating because when you're a woman like me, and I don't know how many interviews you've seen of Rachel, but Rachel has a really difficult time making decisions and also has a really difficult time making decisions and also like making hard decisions and saying goodbyes. Like there's something psychological happening there, right? So for a woman like that, she needs to be with someone who says, and I'm just going to make this really simple. If somebody sees the color blue across the room, she needs a person in her life who's going to say, that color over there is blue.
Interesting.
Blue. There's no other color. Is the color blue. She can't have a Peter who's like, I think it's the color blue. I'm not sure yet. Can I come back to you tomorrow? It just doesn't work. You have to have like a balance.
She's an optimist.
For a fan who's super committed to the show, if you've been following the show and her other private interviews, you'll see that you get to get a sense of Rachel's personality. She needs somebody who's super grounded, like a rock. Peter wasn't a rock.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you know what's so weird is I think because Rachel's so strong and so successful, I don't think we expected her to have a hard time making those decisions, right? So all of America's like, wait a second, you're indecisive? Well, you can't be. You're this like strong woman. So I get it.
I get it, but also I don't necessarily. It's funny because you said I've dated a Peter, and like.
But I've dated a Bryan.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel like it's so hard to put Peter or Bryan or Eric really in any box just because this is such an unreal situation. And while I can see both sides, I understand why Rachel wants a decision now, because it's like, it's now or never. You've had all this time. We've done everything there is to do as far as like romantic dates, and we've had every conversation to have. But I'm sure from Peter's standpoint, it's like, yes, but also let's have real life together.
Right.
And if it seems so good, let's just see how much better it can get and then make this engagement so much more special. I think that's what I understand he was thinking. But also, if he wanted to make her happy, couldn't he have just proposed to her and then convinced her to have a long engagement?
Yeah.
Well, my perspective on that is that people, and I'm gonna like say people because I've been seeing comments all over the place that have been saying exactly what you're saying. Like, dude, you need to give him time.
Yeah.
You need to go into the real world. Like, you guys are in these controlled settings. Okay. Yes. However, she was triggered. He is a trigger for her. Like, I'm gonna go a little psychoanalyze this scenario.
I get it.
Go on.
Yeah.
How so?
He triggered her, like, immensely. She mentioned it, and I think only us as viewers heard it for the first time in this last episode, because she said in an ET interview that she said it multiple times, but I've only heard her say it in this last one, that she had a 5-year relationship that went nowhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we as the viewer only find this out at the end. So we've all invested in thinking it's Peter, and then she like kind of drops a bombshell on us that she was in a relationship for 5 years that went nowhere. That is a trigger. She has a sister who is now have a second baby on the way. She comes from a very strong family. She wants that life. So I think that being with a man who is going to make her miss out on that dream once more, oh, hell no. You know how sassy she is. You know,
I've never really looked at it that way.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it that way, and I think because, like you're saying, we didn't hear about this 5-year relationship unless you've been paying a ton of attention to the very end, and that's so interesting. I don't know. I'm still like 100% Team Peter because I think the show is so abnormal with their 6-week structure of falling in love, but at the same time I get it. If I was her, I'd be sitting there like, why won't you commit to me? I have commitment. Like, I've had another boyfriend who's had commitment issues, so I want to like nip this in the butt. Let's get it going. If we're going to be together forever, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
You have to remember, she has been a tomboy in love, and she has had to be under the shadow of her sister, feeling like she wasn't pretty. She was the girl that kind of came around later bloom, and she's been the one that's been like the guy's girl, like sort of being like in the shadows. So for her, I'm like harping on the trigger thing. Like, I think it was just a trigger for her. Like, no, you're not going to do this to me again. I'm not going to get back into this scenario where I'm dating somebody when I have a real dream for myself. And I don't know, it was just interesting being in the audience and watching Peter's reaction. Like, he was shaking.
Right.
At one point in between commercials, like, they could not sit next to each other. Oh, this is really important. It looks like it's continuous, but in between commercials, Peter had to get up. The producers had to separate them. In fact, like, there was one producer that was sitting next to Rachel, and, you know, like, totally making sure to block Peter. And then there were two other producers that were talking to Peter, and he's like, visibly not well. And it was just, you could cut the tension in there with a knife.
Oh,
so,
my
like,
goodness.
things, like, they play music, they do all kinds of things to, like, keep it upbeat, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that just makes me still think that Peter and Rachel should end up together, because it's clearly like the Notebook type storyline where it's like, you know, the wrong situation but the right relationship.
Yeah. They're just the right
I
love.
love that you're bringing that up. I don't know where else I saw a reference to the Notebook. That's so funny.
Because it's true. Like, and he even said too afterwards, he's like, I tried to get in touch with you after. He's like, I wrote you every day, or you know, or like, you know, his. I tried to give your eyelashes back. I mean, you know, so it's totally like their modern day love story. And I don't know, like, hearing that, like, you could see it from the TV, but like
feel the tension.
Yeah, but even being in the room, I'm sure it was crazy, and hearing they had to be separated and stuff, I just feel like it was so meant to be, and you could see in their eyes that they were just like torn up about this. He was shaking, he was like so upset, and it just, I don't know, it breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah, same here.
I was totally crying. Oh my God, I was like literally crying.
I would be too.
There to watch that, because you could feel how raw it was. Like, they loved each other. They did.
I think they do. I think it's it's still happening. They're still there. I don't know.
So do you think Bryan and Rachel will last?
Yeah,
do you think they'll get married and stay married?
Yeah.
Totally. I do. I don't have any doubt about that. And I hate that people have doubts about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe looking at their relationship with rose-colored glasses. I've never dated a Bryan. I know you mentioned that you've dated a Bryan. I've never dated a Bryan. I just...
Well,
like, just watching her ET interview that she just did with Lauren Zima, like, they are very solid. Like, they individually have just, like, such a strong, like, internal essence about one another individually, and want to make it work. Both want family, both want, you know, a successful life for themselves, both love that the other wants that as well. Like, I can't see that going wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, like the Bachelorette, you know, we all fall in love with the love that we see, and then it's like 10 months later they end up not together. But this one I have a different feeling for. I don't know why.
Interesting. And have you read all like the stories about Bryan? Because I feel like there's so much on the internet, and I don't know if you've ever watched our Pop Art show before, but my roommate matched with him on Bumble, was talking to him right before the show even started. He's still following her. He'll still like DM her every now and then. So I just feel yes, I feel a little sketch about it. I do, and I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Okay, hang on. How soon before or after? Because everybody's looking for love.
Oh, so for sure.
You got to try and find love right up until the second that you step into the limo.
No, yeah, it was right up until then. Yeah. And he would, I think she talked to him when the cast was revealed too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reveal who it is, but I was also talking to somebody who was like a Dancing with the Stars, you know, dancer, and then like 4 months later he gets engaged to somebody. So like, I feel as if everyone's looking for love up until that second, and then when they find the one, like, that person doesn't exist. So I'm going to defend the past experiences Bryan thing there. Like, I feel like everyone's looking for love, and everybody can find it.
That's noble of you. Okay.
So
I'll let it live.
Okay, so I want to talk about Bryan really quick, because I feel like I don't know Bryan's personality. Yeah. I feel like I know Bryan's resume, and his mother, unfortunately, and I don't know his resumes or his personality, so I feel like I don't actually know if him and Rachel make a good match. And also, I think because I was so Team Peter, watching the finale made me think it was a very forced relationship that felt like it was all an act, but that's just because I was so salty that that Peter lost.
We were so like clouded by our love for Peter.
So like,
I was with you. I was Team Peter the whole way.
Oh,
I mean,
interesting.
don't think that I'm like crazy or that I was like the only person who was Team Bryan. I was Team Peter from the cute Palm Springs date that they had with the dog. Like,
the best one. Whew, that was the best one. My friend totally sent me a video of me from the very first episode. She sent it to me today, and I said, I bet $100,000 that Peter's gonna win the final rose.
You just lost $100,000.
No, I totally did, which was so sad. I was so close though, so I was Team Peter the whole way.
So you guys really are not sold on the idea that if you find the one you've been looking for such a long time that you should definitely let go of somebody who's not sure of you? You think that they should have just tried it out and they would have been the better couple with each other?
Okay, that's hard when you put it that way.
I am going to say yes, because I still can't be on board with engagement after 2 months.
Yeah.
I think that Rachel was focused so much on the end goal and wasn't thinking about reality. Okay, so we actually have...
I hate to cut you off, but I think that is a contradiction of us being fans of the show Bachelorette. That's what
I know.
No, it's true.
I know.
It totally is. We sit here and thrive off of this, and then we're like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be getting engaged after 6 weeks, but I mean, it just felt weird.
That's what started the show. That's why they started the show. They never started the show to make it so then people can find each other to match. That show hasn't started yet. In fact, maybe we all should put our heads together and put a show together for people to just match and date. But it's a lot more interesting to get people together and to put them in scenarios where it's 6 to 8 weeks and we tell them to get married.
Yeah.
And that's what the show's about. And I personally think that Peter has known about this. He's lived here in LA. He's known about The Bachelor. His yearbook, you guys know the yearbook. High school year.
Wait, I don't know the story. Tell me.
Be The Bachelor.
I don't know the story about his yearbook, and fill me in.
Yeah, that was his quote, that that his goal is to be The Bachelor.
On his senior, everyone's been passing it around, and it's first off hilarious because he looks like such a little like dweeb, and second, I think that's what's spurring everyone to have these conversations because they think that he was like auditioning practically to be The Bachelor. But then we hear what you're saying about like being in the room and how they had to be separated, and something tells me that was not fake, right? So I think maybe he was someone who started out wanting to be on the show, because I always joke that I'd want to be on the show, right? And my friends always say, hey, you should go on the show, you'd be hilarious. But I think if I got into that and I started to feel those feelings, I'd totally like lean in, right? So I don't know. I think that's hard.
I just think he was in over his head. I really don't.
Oh, yeah.
Being in the audience, you don't know who also was invited, and we got to sit next to either his aunt, someone really close in his family. Yeah. And she said, we submitted Peter for, the Bachelor, Bachelorette. And me and my friend were just like, you've got to still, like, what are the deets? And she said she has taken this whole process so hard. The social media attacks and just the media and the coverage, it was so much for him. And you heard him last night saying, when he was describing himself to her, to Rachel, I'm a very emotional person.
Right.
He has even written on his Instagram post, he's made an Instagram post, which I believe he's taken down now. People don't understand how much and how hard the things they say affect me. And he said that people will write the most terrible things, and they don't remember that we're all humans. And and this was after he got attacked from not saying I love you after hometowns. I don't know if you guys tapped into any of their social accounts, but he was like man-hating, or he was like eaten by the media and just like fans all over the place, people just hating on him.
That's sad.
And his aunt was just like, yeah, he has taken, this has been really hard for him. It's been very difficult.
Well, that's sad. And I mean, I don't think anything prepares you for that, right? I mean, you think that you could be set up for all of this like social media fame, but at the end of the day, we're like real people and we're all not Nick Viles or whatever, where we're obsessed with the social media fame. So I don't know. I feel like he's just this little like small town guy who probably didn't know what he was getting into, right?
Totally.
Sad.
Totally.
We have some, we're on a Facebook Live right now, and we have some people writing in. And we have Terry, who said she thought it was weird how Rachel asked for the ring as soon as Bryan asked her to marry him, to the point where he wasn't even done talking, and she was like, give me the ring.
She's like, give it to me.
What do you think about that? What does that say about that relationship?
You guys are reading way too much into this girl. She is sassy.
No, it's
She's
true.
sassy. She's silly. Like, that's how she is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so personally invested. I think I feel so personally invested because I literally feel like she's my, like, other half from, like, another world. We look alike and have the same mannerisms, and my personality is not as sassy, but she is definitely a sass. She's silly.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, people are going to pick and nitpick any little thing that they can possibly get, so then they can curtail their fantasy and love for Peter and like not keep him responsible for not making a decision. Like she was just being silly in that moment. Seriously.
So, I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I also think being a fan of the show has resulted in me becoming a person who nitpicks.
Yeah,
I know that if my friend did that in real life, I would never be like, what does this mean?
Why did you say give me the ring when he got down on one knee? I mean, but I would kind of do that too. Like, I'm such a freak. Like, I've probably been dreaming about that ring my whole life, right? I'm like, give it to me, put it on my finger.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think I'm learning that Ursulline is a better person than Sarah and I.
Are we surprised? Are we surprised?
Not surprised at all.
Do not give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't think I don't make people responsible for their crazy actions.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel has been very sane and very direct in everything she's done and every goodbye she's had. Like, if you as a fan have been able to peg her personality, and then at the end you're seeing she's like, put that ring on it. Like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
She's just being
Totally. And we've seen that like in her Insta stories and whatever you follow her on. You know, you see her personality come out. I feel like we didn't see it a ton on the show because she had to be so serious.
Totally. And I'm actually glad the person that asked that question, because it's actually a question that it's a comment that I've been seeing on a lot of social media. People saying, she's only she was just chasing after the ring. She doesn't even care about the person behind it. Like, oh, come on.
Terry, come on. We also love you, Terry, because you're our #1 fan. So
Thanks.
Sorry for the negativity. So Ursulline, I want to talk about future seasons from now. Do you have any predictions about who the next Bachelor would be, or even any predictions about Bachelor in Paradise?
So, my perspective on the next Bachelor actually was totally, I didn't even know who I was thinking up until yesterday. And then being in the audience is seriously, guys, such a different perspective, because you just see how he's being groomed. And I say he because I'm going to tell you who I think it is.
I think I know who it is.
You see how the person's being groomed, and it's just like you two. If you've been watching the show long enough, you start to notice key words and key phrases that the upcoming Bachelor or Bachelorette says. They say, "I'm ready for love." You know, I'm you know, my heart's open. They say these there's these trigger words, and the one person who said that last night was Eric.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up. Seriously? I'm like so ready for that. Like, get me on that show. He is so fine.
Now, which kind of Eric do you like?
What?
Say that again?
I know that there's like controversy with Eric. Eric kind of was like, people had to warm up to him. I had to warm up to him.
Yeah, that's very true.
I was telling Sarah that I feel like, I gave Eric a lot of flack early on because I kind of thought he was this bumbling dude who, like, there was a couple scenes early on where he wore suit jackets that looked too big for him.
Yeah.
And he was, like, just saying things that didn't make a lot of sense, and he just didn't come across super intelligent.
Yeah.
He came across very, quick to react, very reactive. And then yet fast forward to now, we see him after the final rose, and the first thing out of his mouth to Rachel is, "How's your heart?" Which is like, ooh, so smooth.
No, I mean, that kid was trained. He was trained for that. Like,
right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think about him with a beard? Are you a fan?
I actually really liked the beard, and here's why.
Samesies.
Because
How does he dance?
As I said, and I'm sure I'm sure Bachelor Nation could agree, he did seem very immature, and Lee was the one that took the cat out of the bag. Let's make sure we all remember that. We as the audience did not know that he had never been in a relationship before,
right,
or had never been in love before. Because he said he was in a relationship. Remember that one he was like, oh yeah, the last relationship was 8 months ago or 18 months ago, something like that. He mentioned some girl that he was in a relationship with.
Right.
It was really short term. Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere. And so I think the beard makes me and makes anybody else who sees him go, oh, okay, he's maturing.
He's a man.
He's found love. He's a man, and I don't know. I just think I'm personally a 5 o'clock shadow girl. I love that. I love a guy who has a little bit of scruff, a little bit of beard, and that was just enough beard that it was not too much, but good enough where he could put on a suit and look really dapper.
No, I thought so too. I was into it.
We all agree with you.
Everyone.
I feel like Eric looks like the kind of guy that smells really good. He looks like the one guy who he doesn't care as much about his clothes, but he really cares about his cologne.
I appreciate that.
Guy's perfect hygiene, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got America rooting for him though, right? I just feel like everyone's behind him, and I think it was a few episodes back we were talking about how he comes out to LA and he gives food out on Skid Row, and he's really active and gives back to the community and doesn't forget where he's come from, and I just think he's the coolest guy, and I think America would just, I don't know, I feel like it'd be a really emotional show because we'd watch him find that person, right? And how cool is that to watch someone find their first love? I'm getting chills. I feel like it'd be so fun.
Yeah. I actually really love that you put that perspective, because a lot of the time Bachelor Nation doesn't have the perspective that you guys and me have, where we live here in LA and we kind of understand how producers would like to spin a story.
Right.
Rachel was a perfect packaging. She's from Texas. She's sassy. She's a lawyer. She hasn't been able to find love. It was such a perfect packaging, and on top of that, she would have been the first African-American bachelor. It was just a perfect package.
Right.
So, next perfect packaging is first Black Bachelor.
Yeah.
He's a motivational speaker. It's just so perfectly packaged. He's never found love before. He's a kid from the streets, and he's done this, and now he's blossomed into this. It's just such a perfect story. I don't know anybody else's story, but he's just it's why not?
Yep.
Yeah. No way.
Easy to root for him.
Yeah, it's easy to root for him, root for his love, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we're all a little protective of him, right? We don't want to see his heart get broken, so we're rooting for him to get, pick himself back up and get back on that love train.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, do you think, and be honest, you really legitimately think that Peter would have been a good bachelor?
I think he would have if last night's episode didn't air. Because I think he would have been a good bachelor. I think he's easy to like. He's easy on the ice. He's very like level-headed. He described himself yesterday as emotional, and when he said that, I was a little surprised because I never saw him as emotional. I actually saw him as the opposite. But I think he would have been a great Bachelor because he's a good speaker.
Yeah.
He seems level-headed, but almost to the point where it's, a negative trait as opposed to a positive one. But I think he would have made a good Bachelor. But after last night, no, it can't be. It's sad to say, but it's more like he's kind of damaged goods now in the Bachelor Nation world, which is really sad to say, but this was such a difficult breakup to watch. It would take, they need to give him a year or something before they make him
They're
Bachelor.
Gonna pull like a Nick and bring him back, but I don't know. I semi-disagree because you were like yes and no. So I think no, because one, I think in Bachelor Nation, you have to be totally out there and willing to accept the process. And I just don't think he ever was. I felt like he was honestly too sane for the show. And I know that sounds crazy, but even though he had it in his yearbook and all of that, I just feel like he was too level-headed. He was too sane. He was too cool. He was too smooth. He just had it together. And you have to have some little something to really get people interested in you. And I think we could have ended up with another Ben Higgins, and it would have been incredibly boring as much as I love Peter. I just think, I don't know, there wasn't any besides him not wanting to get engaged to Rachel, there was no real meat to his story. And maybe this is because I'm in LA and I think this way. I don't see the package. I don't see him being a full Bachelor package. I don't know. Also too, don't want him to be the Bachelor because I think he's going to find me before then, and I have this idea he's going to be ready to get engaged to me. So I don't want to compete with 25 other women.
Well, I'm from
selfish.
Madison, Wisconsin, so I'm actually going to bring Sarah home with me, and we'll stay at my parents' house, and we'll just kind of be on the hunt for Peter.
I love the Packers. I watch them every Sunday. I have Packers shirts. Go Pack. I can mold to whichever Bachelor contestant I want. If it's Dean, cool. I love dinosaurs. If it's Peter, I love the Packers. Look.
I love what you said. I really think that your perspective is, and also including that he hasn't found you yet, he's going to need time to heal. His heart is so broken and his ego is so bruised. Yeah. And he used to live here, and I think he left because he could not handle the pressure here in LA. And that's why he moved back to Madison, Wisconsin, and is a coach. Oh. He works as a trainer, and I think that, it would just be one of those things where he would have to be exposing himself to the vitriol of social media and the media and people commenting, and it's just no, dude, don't do that to yourself again.
No, and that's
out, find love on your own. I think he was looking for trying to get fame again. I really do. I think he was trying to get him. He was a model, and it didn't work. And then he's been in Wisconsin and was hungry for it again, and thought maybe being on the show would do it for him.
Yeah, I agree.
One of our listeners, Nicole, says that Sarah can marry Peter and she's okay with it. So it's been decided.
No ring.
Sarah and Peter together.
Yes, save all your coins. Make sure that you get everything when he's ready.
Hey, I'm happy to move to Wisconsin.
Well, Ursuline, it was so great having you on the show. I think you have a great perspective, and thank you so much for sharing all of your behind the scenes in the studio little tips. We hope to hear from you next season. We'll check in with you and see what you think. And for everybody listening, I feel like a lot of our listeners were commenting about how right you are and how wise you are. If they want to tweet at you and tell you that they agree with you, what is the best way to reach you on social media?
You can find me at Ursulline TV, and it's Ursulline TV.
Woo! Love it. Ursuline, thanks so much, and hopefully we'll chat with you next season.
Thanks, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Well, Sarah.
Yes.
I have to say, I feel like this was a therapy session. I feel like Ursuline kind of talked me off a ledge.
No, I think she did too. And I'm actually so glad we had her call in because like we needed someone to provide us different perspectives than like you and I have just been sitting here like moping around like, Peter, why?
We've been very salty about Bryan winning because we chose to put him in a box of D-bag from Miami, chiropractor with no personality and a terrible mother.
That's a big box.
But we weren't thinking about what Rachel has been saying all along, which is I'm looking for somebody who's down. If you're not down, then I'm not down with you, no matter how perfect together we are.
I never looked at it that way.
I'm still not totally on board with this relationship, but I still feel like it's The Notebook and she should end up with Peter in the end.
Yeah.
But oh man, the way that they talked last night about her saying she will not let him contact her, and it's just, I think she has made up her mind, and whether or not we think she made the right choice is really not important. She feels like she made the right choice, and with that being said, presumably that means a happy life together.
Let me tell you though, I block my ex-boyfriend every weekend, and every week I unblock him. So look, Rachel could be doing the same thing. You never know. In a week, a month.
It's true. Somebody just told me my ex got engaged, and mainly I was just pissed that they found out before me, and also that I haven't gotten engaged before him. So I guess at the end of the day, we're all crazy, right?
We're all winning.
This has been, you know, a wild ride. I felt like the beginning of the season was super crazy, and then it started to level off a little bit, and we were starting to get a little bored, and we felt like Rachel was really predictable. But in the end, she might have been predictable, but we weren't seeing her vision. We were seeing what we thought the producers wanted us to see. And so I was really surprised by last night, and I think it was a great finale as far as TV goes. Personally, I still feel a little wounded by it, but I'm so ready to see what becomes of Peter. I'm so ready to see what becomes of Rachel and Bryan. And for the sake of the franchise, I do hope that they last and have a loving marriage, because those are kind of rare to come out of this situation.
You want to hope for the best. And I too am really excited about all of that. I'm excited to see myself with Dean and Peter, both of them. But I feel everyone's going to be happy, right? And then we have Bachelor in Paradise, all the craziness to look forward to. That's going to take our mind off of this whole Bryan-Peter drama. And
take our minds back into the question of how the network approaches sexual assault. But that's for another day.
Can't wait.
Big topics, you guys, with such a crazy show. We want to have you guys tell us, oh, wait, we got a listener talking to us. Hang on. Terry says, thanks, girls. It's been fun watching you. Terry, to all the fans who've been with us this season, who have been commenting, watching, we love you. Thank you so much. With your support, with your comments, and your subscribing, and your tuning in every week is the reason why we're here. So tell your friends, join us when Bachelor in Paradise starts next week. Follow through with us. We're here all throughout Bachelor Nation, and as your fan base gets bigger, we get better, and we can bring you more content every week. So thank you all so much. We love you. Here's to the fans.
Cheers.
Here's to you guys. Thank you so much for chatting with us every week and talking us off ledges. Here's to producer Heather and producer Madison, who literally crawl on the floor under the camera to make sure that this is a good show for you guys to watch. And
they're working overtime.
What else can I say? Thanks to my awesome co-host Sarah, who knows more about Bachelor Nation than anybody in the whole wide world.
It's the only reason I'm here.
She is a living encyclopedia. I am so excited for Bachelor in Paradise. It's going to be a wild ride. Tune in with us again next week. We're not going anywhere. We love you guys so much. Bye.